Good morning. Last week we began a study of heaven and we are answering questions using scripture. Last week we had a question about angels. Will we become angels when we die? And my answer to that was no, that God created angels and He created mankind, and we are different. People are people, angels are angels. And this Sunday, one of the songs during our service was had mentioned Angel Armies, and it's that one. The God of Angel Armies is always by my side. And that got some people thinking and wondering, are there angel armies and what's going on with these angel armies? So that's what I'm going to talk about today, and hopefully I can answer the questions or at least point you in the right direction. So what we do know about angels is that they are part of creation. God created them. They haven't lived forever like God. He created them, and He created them before the seventh day, because at the seventh day they were rejoicing. So we don't know how many there are, but we do know that there are a lot. And the scripture that tells us that is, let's see now, Deuteronomy 33:2. And that says, God came from the 10,000s of holy ones with flaming fire at His right hand. Also in Psalm 68:17, it says, the chariots of God are tens of thousands and thousands of thousands. Hebrews 12:22. Let's see, when we come to worship, we come into the presence of innumerable angels. Innumerable. That just means there's too many to even number, to count. And then John in Revelation 5:11 says, I heard around the throne and the living creatures and the elders the voice of many angels, numbering myriads of myriads and thousands of thousands. So we know that is innumerable. There's so many we can't even count. It is that many. And in, what is it? I think it was Nehemiah. Nehemiah says, you are the Lord, you alone. You have made heaven, the heaven of heavens, with all their host, and the host of heaven worships you. The word host, all through the Bible, is used to describe a multitude of spiritual beings, of angels, because angels are spiritual beings. And the heavenly host, those are angels, a multitude of angels. And the word that is used in Hebrew for that that was translated into host is actually a word that in Hebrew means army or war. So it's interesting that in all of these, the ESV and the NIV and several others all translate that as host instead of army. And I don't know why that is. There are a couple Bibles that do translate that word as army. And it's strange. It's the New Living Translation and the Message. And typically those are Bibles that, especially the Message, is not word for word translation. It is kind of a paraphrase. So it's kind of ironic that it actually uses the word that as army, which is what its Hebrew word closely resembles or is used for. So anyway, interesting. Now, in the Bible, you have there is a story where there is an army of angels that protects Elisha, and it's, let's see, I think it's in 2 Kings. Yes it is, 2 Kings 6. And what has happened is the Assyrian army is after Elisha. They want to get him, they want to kill him, and they come upon the city and they're going to take it. Well, Elisha's servant looks out the window and he sees the Assyrian army and he freaks out. And Elisha goes, "Don't worry, don't be scared. There are more of us than there are of them." And of course, Elisha's servant looks out the window and is, so, "No, there's not." So Elisha prays to the Lord for him to open his servant's eyes so that he can see. So he does, and Elisha's servant looks out the window and he sees surrounding the city is angel armies, thousands upon thousands of chariots of fire and horses, all surrounding the city and keeping them safe. So in this instance, it is an angel army. And we know all through the Bible, Old Testament all the way through Revelation, we hear of angels and groups of angels that are doing God's bidding. They are serving Him in different ways. They are acting as messengers like Gabriel all through the Bible. We've got Daniel, he's in Daniel. He is in Luke. We've got the Archangel Michael, who is a warrior, also in Daniel and Jude. So all through the Bible, we hear of angels and groups of angels that are serving Him, and they're also protecting us. They're serving Him and protecting us. They're doing different things, and they have different skill sets, apparently. So anyway, so the angel armies, there's just a group of angels who have been called by God to protect His people in one form or another. Now that was in biblical times, and I think it's still happening. I think there are a lot of interesting things out there. I went down a few rabbit holes when I was looking up your answer. One of them, I found this story about the Republic of Congo, which is in Africa, was going through a civil war, and this rebel force was trying to take over this building, which was a boarding school, and it had like 200 kids in it. And they came up onto the building, and then they retreated, and then they came up again to take it, and then they retreated, and they did it again. They did it, I think, 3 times. And then they ended up giving up and leaving. And one of the rebels in that group was later captured, and he said that when they would go up to the building, they immediately saw an army of angels around the building, and they got scared and ran away. And then they came back once they got their courage up, and they saw the angel army again, and then they ran up, and then the last time they saw the angel army again and left. Isn't that amazing? I read one more. I'll tell you one more. During World War I in 1914, there was a battle going on. I can't remember who the Germans were fighting. I'm sorry. But anyway, it had been going on for 6 days, and it was a horrible, bloody battle. They were fighting, and both sides reported later that they saw angels coming down and being in the battle with them, sometimes between them, and raising their arms up to them. But both sides reported seeing that. And I just thought, man, how exciting is that? That I believe it. You know, I believe the word of the Lord. I believe that it happened then, and I believe they're active now. So when that song says that nothing formed against you can stand, and because the God of angel armies is by your side, that's exactly what it means. Exactly. It's not just, it doesn't just sound good. It's real. There are angel armies out there, and He commands them. So anyway, I hope that helped. There are some ones that you can look up. Other scripture, Deuteronomy 33:2, 2 Kings 6, read that. That was good. Hebrews 12:22, Revelation 5:11, Jude 9, all kinds of interesting scripture about angels and protecting his people. So anyway, if you have any other questions, please email me, text me, call me, whatever, and I'll do my best. Have a good day.